everybody. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Empowerment Chat. Super excited to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everyone that's watching the live. Thank you for everyone that's watching the replay. And I'm super duper excited to be here with you tonight. I'm so excited to have my girl, Ep2 here with me.
Hi.
And we are just going to have some good old chat about the power of being intentional. So if you guys are out there and you're watching, let us know, like in the comments, y'all, that you can hear and see us and all this stuff. Hey, whoever said, whoa, somebody's in the comments. Y'all talking. That's right. So yes, I am Natasha Rivera. I am a holistic health and wellness coach, the creator of this group, Be Free Society. I help high achieving women redesign their lives so that they can prioritize their health, well-being, live unapologetically, and cultivate a joyful life. Hey, Samita. Hey, Facebook users. And y'all, my girl came out for me tonight.
Oh my goodness, I did.
She got some y'all, you know how to say that the voice lines up because she got some sinus issues going on tonight.
Yes.
But we're gonna go on anyhow. So I am going to allow Miss Yvette, honey, to introduce herself. Introduce yourself to the people, Yvette. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, ladies. I am Ep2. I am 50 years old. I'm 50 and fabulous.
Yes.
God has blessed me with a birthday on March 9th. And a few days before my birthday, my homegirl Natasha hit me up and asked me to be here with all of you to talk about the power of being intentional. I've been being intentional all day with my voice, not talking as much, using Ricola, drinking water, and got this hot tea. And now I'm hot, and I know it's nothing but nerves, but I'm grateful to be here with you all this evening to talk about the power of being intentional. I'm a wife. I am a mother. I'm a caregiver to my mother and my 11-year-old nephew. So we have a party of five here going on in Milton, Delaware. And I'm glad to be with all of you this evening.
Yes, you do. Guys, the reason I asked Yvette to do this, and I told her this, I said, because I live my life with intention, but I could not think of another person to do this with me who also lives the intentional life. Like Yvette is the queen of intentionality. And I know that might not even be a word, y'all, but listen, she literally lives her life with intention. Everything is with a purpose and it has a meaning and it's for a goal and a cause. So that's what we just want to chop it up with you guys about tonight. We just want to have some casual girl talk. But before we get into it, I just want to kind of explain how I like doing this part, how we met, like how
oh gosh,
and I have met, because I've known Yvette since 2009.
Yeah.
We used to work together, my previous employer, her current employer, and we met through email first and a phone call. And I just told the story in public the other day at Yvette's 50th, y'all. She just had, can we just give her some birthday love in the comments?
Ooh, thank you.
Birthday love, because you know some people did not make to see their 50. Can we just give her some birthday love in these comments, y'all? Give me that some birthday love. Come on now. So I just gave this speech at her 50th birthday. It was so beautiful. But it was absolutely true. And Yvette, it was just wanted to have her flowers while she was here. And it was just so beautiful to hear all the words from, you know, and all the flowers that everyone gave you at your party. So that just really touched me. It had me, y'all. I was crazy crying. I was like,
that's red and everything when she laughed. I know her husband was like, where's she been? What's she been doing?
My eyes was gone. I'm a big waterhead. Like I am like hardcore, but I am so soft and pink. It's not even funny. But when it's real and you know that the love is authentic, it just really strikes me a different kind of way. And it was just nice to see you shower with all that love. But Yvette and I, so I say all that to say, I met her on the email, on the phone first. And my first impression when I finally had a phone conversation with her was like, her voice was so soothing. Her voice was so soothing, guys. It was like a little lullaby. and I was like, Harper, who this woman? Like, I wanted to meet her. I wanted to meet you
Oh
so bad.
goodness.
And then when we did meet, there was like an office meeting or something.
Yes.
And we did meet, and Yvette and I just kind of clicked.
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since. And
Yes.
so, right, Yvette?
Yes, it was an unspoken like sisterhood, like she has my back and I have her back. It was at a professional development
Yeah.
and we were laughing and chatting, you know, in between the professional development, of course. And we just connected from day one. And even when she left and I stayed, we just continued. So that's when you know, some work relationships that are authentic. When one
Right.
leaves and the other one stays. Yes.
Right. And
Grateful.
so that is just, we got some in the comments. They're saying we love Yvette has the best phone voice ever. Guys, we are using StreamYard, so we cannot see your face or your name. It just says Facebook user. So if you give StreamYard permission to use your name, we'll be able to see it so that we can greet you by your name. Because I would really love to do that instead of saying, "Hey, Facebook user," let's make it a little more personal, right?
Yes.
But thank you guys. I see you in the chats, and hey to all you guys. So Yvette, so the power of being intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had an intentional story. I want to start with saying what being intentional means. It means doing something on purpose and deliberately.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to get that definition out there because some people don't know what intention even means.
Yes.
You know, we have to do everything with a purpose, and it has to be deliberate, or you know, and it doesn't mean that it's living a life of intention is always joyful or peaceful, and it's not always easy, but it is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And if you continue to make small steps every single day toward an intentional life, it gets better. Would you agree?
I do agree. I do agree. I was reading an article today about intentional living, and it just simply said a better balanced life. You know, we can always do things better.
Right. I love
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like some characteristics. Do you have? So, first, I'm going to share with you guys one of my intentional stories. So I can let you guys know exactly how deep into this I am. I have several throughout my 45 years of living intentional stories, right? But I'm going to share this last one within the last 3-4 years. It was when my health was really under attack, and my well-being, my mental, my physical, my spiritual was all under attack at the same time. um some of you may have heard the story if you watch my lives, but some of you are new here, and some of you may not have heard the story. So I'm just going to say it again. Hey, Nilsa. So I was at an employer. I was really super duper stressed out at the employer. I went out on FMLA. I went to the doctor to have paperwork filled out, guys. My blood pressure was in stroke range. This was in 2020. And so I immediately, and I had some other health issues going on, all because of that stressful place that I was at, right? Yvette knows all this story. She's one of my good girlfriends I talked to. She prayed me through and cried me through that time in my life.
Yes.
So I when I was at the doctor, she took my blood pressure. It was in stroke range. Mortified. I was mortified. I was devastated. I was sobbing, crying. I was scared. My anxiety. Hey, Miss Powerhouse, Miss Evelyn. My anxiety was through the roof, and she said we have to put you on medicine right now. I really thought she was going to send me to the hospital, as high as it was. That moment, once I got myself together, I got home and I said, I have got to do something different, because what I allowed was the employer, that job, to totally stress me out and allow my health to spiral. I got up, guys, and I started walking that day. And so when you guys hear me, hey Jackie, yes, can see you now. When I say that walking has saved my life in more ways than one, I really walked myself back to good health. And so I had to be intentional about the process. I had to be intentional about changing my eating. Intentional movement, Yvette and I call it, is intentional
Yes.
movement because it's done, what did I say earlier, on purpose, and it's
Mhm.
deliberately. So I had to make a lifestyle change to, because I said I would not be on this medicine. I'm giving it 6 months to a year, right, Yvette?
Yes.
And I took my last blood pressure pill December 30th, 2022, the day before my 45th
Yay.
birthday. So I was intentional for 2 years,
Yes.
2 whole years to get my health under control. So when you guys
Mhm.
see me in here talking about health and wellness, and this is what I do, this is my jam. I have gone through
Yeah.
things so that, to help someone else not maybe not go through it, or if you're going through it, to help you through it.
Mhm.
So that's just a brief of my intentional story.
Mhm.
Yvette, do you have an intentional story that you like to share?
I do. And my brief intentional story taught me how to live intentionally, if
Ooh.
that makes sense. And it was about 15 years ago, when I decided to stop everything I was doing, leave my hometown, leave my comfort zone, move to Delaware, a place where I would only come on occasions to shop tax free. And that was the time I had met my husband, and I was in the process of finalizing my son's adoption. And you were there last Thursday when my husband made this statement um, about no one will ever know my tragedy that caused me to be so gentle. Um, it was rough. Life for me was rough. I was living 95% of my life in the church arena. I don't have anything against the church or the people who need the sanctuary or the synagogue or the temple, but I worked there. I worshiped there. I developed false relationships there. I'm just going to speak it what it is. And
Please.
so when I left quickly, and moved to Delaware, it took me several months to settle in here. I went from church to church, met people in the community. And then one day I said, I need to move my body. I need to learn how to move my body, to open up my heart, because sometimes when we move or we pause, we take motions to open up our heart center, to open up our hips. And for women, I don't know if any men are on here, but for women, um, we carry our stress in our abdomen and in our hips. So that's why we're always tight. So I went to my first yoga class. I sat on the mat and I didn't do anything, but I took in the energy of people just breathing like hard breath, ocean breath. Sound like I was sitting in the ocean. And this willowy lady came over to me and she said, trust yourself, trust your body and move. And that day, I had to be intentional because I had to focus on moving my body without hurting myself. And intention is not hurting yourself
Right.
and learning it for yourself, because my husband can't teach me how to be intentional. My son can't, my girlfriend, you can't. It's just something that we develop. So I've been developing intentional living 15 years now,
Wow.
day by day. And it starts for me moving with intention.
Moving with intention.
Hmm.
That's a powerful story. And it was just like the move, because I get that with leaving a place that you're familiar. That was like when we left
Hmm.
Jersey to come here 16 years ago. So I'm a
Hmm.
couple years, we were right there in the same
Yeah,
boat.
right there.
And I always relate to Jersey as my Egypt. I knew that I had to
Hmm.
do something different. And at the time, I didn't know why we were leaving. It was just, I thought, like you thought it was like you going coming here for tax free. I was like,
Yeah.
listen, I'm going for free college for my kids, and I'm going for them that
Yes.
property taxes. Jersey, is expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now that we're here and life has just been amazing. The ladies are talking to us. Jackie says
Oh,
amen.
good.
Nita says yes. Nita says she's been there, done that. Someone
Yes.
said intentional. Jackie loves it. Yes, moving with intention. Someone
Mm-hmm.
loves that. Yes, you have to move with intention. You have to move with purpose and deliberation. That's what intention means. So some characteristics of an intentional person looks like this. You have to have clarity of your purpose, guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
um Intentional people have a clear understanding of what they want to achieve, and they're focused on their goals, right?
Yeah.
And they also have to have self-discipline. Self-discipline. And discipline is not easy to discipline when you've been doing living rogue, I'm gonna say, for so long, right? You have to reel it in. You have to reprogram your mind. It's a mindset thing. You have to
Yes.
reprogram your mind, your body, and your actions. All that you have to reprogram. It's like a reboot, a total reboot, right?
Yes.
So because when you have self-discipline, you have the ability to control your actions and your thoughts and your emotions, because we have to learn to control those emotions, because guys, where we are going, we cannot be led by our emotions. And I know that for a fact, because God told me that about myself.
Yes.
Yes, discipline is the key. Discipline is the key to it all. Discipline and consistency. I'm going to add that in there. Discipline and consistency. Because you can be disciplined, but if you're not consistent, you're not getting anything done. Right? You have to have mindfulness. Intentional people have to be present in the moment and very aware of their surroundings. Right? It allows you to make very conscious decisions, and that align with your goals. Intentional people, like I said earlier, are consistent. I just said this. You consistently take action towards your goals and decision making that align with your values and your priorities. And intentional people are resilient because they adapt to change. Some people are so rigid, they don't like change, and they get so caught up in what is always been and how it's always been. I've seen it in just in the workforce. How about you, Yvette, with people not
Yes, I had
wanting
right.
to-
Yes, not wanting to change and modify. And if I can add to that, another characteristic of intentional individuals is just basically um, standing in your truth and your beliefs and your core values. Because at the end of the day, we are individuals. And you may not believe what I believe. I may not believe what you believe, but we know each other enough to respect each other. And that helps us live with intention. Like nobody can stop me from believing that this is going to happen for me. You know, no one's going to talk negative in my space. And just own your values
right,
and what you stand for.
right.
Yeah.
Girl, you done said a mouthful. Ain't nobody gonna stand in my space and talk negative, okay?
Right. Yeah, be
Because
mindful, be
girl,
intention about your surroundings. If you know you don't belong in that space, be intentional and don't go.
peace
You
out.
said best, right? You said best. No, it's a complete sentence.
And it is,
So be intentional about where you go, who you go with,
girl,
what you do.
that don't squander
Hmm.
your time. And especially
Yeah,
it goes back to like really don't cast your pearl to the swine.
to the swine.
Point blank
Yes.
period. Because we ain't doing that over here. And that's a
No.
part of boundaries. Intentional people have boundaries.
Yes.
Intentional people say
Yes.
no more than they say yes. Can we talk
Hmm.
about it, somebody?
Yes.
Intentional people practice gratitude.
Yes.
Intentional
Yes.
people make every moment count. The intentional people
Hmm.
surround themselves, like Yvette was just saying, with positivity. You don't want
Hmm.
people around you that are always woe it's me. People like that,
Yes.
I stay away from. Like I do not like
Hmm.
having the same conversation more than once.
Yes.
I'm gonna talk to you about it once, and
Yes.
we may have a briefing, a quick briefing about it twice.
Right,
But
a catch
after that,
up.
I am not calling you, texting you, asking you how things are going, because I already know, and you are not
Yes.
going to sweat my ear out complaining.
Yes.
I don't have time, and I'm not squandering my time with people who are just
Hmm.
refuse to do what? move with people
Move.
that are not resilient.
Hmm. Yes.
So, I'm gonna hop in these comments. Yvette, you got anything to say? Somebody said, "I spy your cup, Auntie." That must
Oh
be.
my goodness. Yes. Be still and know. It was a birthday gift from my beautiful adopted niece who's with us. And that's another thing for me being intentional. And when I don't, sometimes the test is doing something that you normally don't do.
Oh, good.
And I have to be intentional with sitting still and reading. I love to read, but I'm not intentional about it. I
Mm-hmm.
always come up, with an excuse. So something is even being intentional about reading. You have to make your space inviting, maybe play some music. And I know for me, I can't do it in the bed because I'll go sleep. So
Ah, right,
you have to, the switch up is real, even
right,
in being intention to be intentional.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. I said that actually, Yvette, on my live that I just did on Friday. Um, so yeah, someone said discipline without consistency yields no fruit. You
Oh,
are right.
yes. Facebook user. Who
You
are
are
you?
absolutely no fruit. Like, because what it say, a tree is known by its fruit. A tree is known
Yes.
by its fruit.
Yes.
So if you ain't
Mhm.
yielding fruit, that means you ain't putting in no work. That means you ain't nourished. Your roots ain't got nothing popping.
Yes.
Ain't nothing popping
Yes.
over there. Thank you, Sunita.
Right.
She says both of you are so powerful. I love your intentionality. Thank you,
Oh,
Sunita.
thank you. Thank you.
Miss Evelyn says she has to make herself get on her bike. Yes, Miss Evelyn.
Yes.
That's Miss Powerhouse, y'all. You are
Miss
absolutely right.
Yes, Miss Evelyn, I have my bike standing in the corner and I'm gifting it to Tasha
I'm a hiking on
because
that bike.
intentionally I can't do the bike thing anymore with some physical blocks, so I had to be intentional about setting myself up better for the spring and summer, which will be walking. So I just didn't want my bike to sit, but good job.
Oh, she is such a sweetheart
Yeah.
like that. She was like, "I'm gonna give you my bike. I want you to have my bike." And like, that's such a blessing. I
Yes.
wasn't even like, it was never even okay. I
Yes,
was
give
like,
it
"Thank you so
away.
much." I'm so
Oh,
excited about
another being intentional, and I know my niecey wouldn't mind. I brought some Under Armour shorts last summer on vacation. Beautiful colors on sale. I was probably 25 pounds less. Took sick, gained all this weight, and I'm like, oh no, I have to be intention. Get rid of these and go buy what fits me now.
that. Right,
We have to be intentional too
right,
about how we want to go before people.
right,
Even
right,
in our dressing, we have to
right.
be intentional of how we want to look throughout our day.
You're right. You're right. Um, Jackie says living on purpose is living your life with intent. It's a process.
Yes, it's a
Absolutely.
process.
I'm
Yes,
going to
Miss
scroll through
Jackie.
these and we're going to talk to y'all back to y'all. I
Yes,
have who says I have intentionality professionally, but I'm working towards being intentionally with yourself personally and self-care. That's awesome.
yes, that's awesome.
Okay, Yvette, you want to address this? You want
Mhm.
putting yourself, putting self first.
Ooh,
How can
yes.
she be intentional about putting herself first?
Putting yourself first is letting the household know that you are first.
Ooh,
Because if your household does not know that you are first, the moment they hear you
girl,
tiptoe through your house, they're gonna be on you. This is what I need. Can you take me here? Can you take me there? What's for breakfast? So when you set the tone for your household as the queen of your household, whether it's just two of you or maybe three or maybe nine of you, let them know, the first hour of my day is for me. And I know for me, it's sitting on the side of my bed
mm-hmm,
because I can no longer just jump up and go. You have
right,
to sit on the side of your bed, offer gratitude, whoever your higher power is being. And these are just some things that works for me. And maybe do some shoulder rolls and some neck rolls in the morning, and then get up and just go straight to the bathroom. It's something about the peace of the bathroom.
Right.
Run in the shower before you get in. You don't have to, sometimes you just turn on the
I
shower and they
do
think
that
you're in
all the
there.
time. Just walk
Right.
in.
And they think you in there. So those are some things that work for me. But sis, definitely talk to your family, your loves, and they will honor that. They will respect it.
Yeah, I actually
Mm-hmm.
had to do that over here, Yvette. So, and I have
Mm-hmm.
talked about this in this group too, y'all. I didn't, like Yvette's not even in the group because she's not on Facebook, so she don't even know
No.
what I'm talking about in here. But I told you guys before that I have these beads, like these little ornamental beads that I, like a door hanger that I put on my office door when I am in here. My family know, do not disturb. Like, don't, because it ain't gonna be cute, ain't gonna be pretty when she start opening his mouth and doing all this yippy yapping, right? And so, but Yvette is absolutely right. You have to. It starts at home. And if you can't have peace home, if you can't have it there, then everywhere else you go, you're going to allow people just to poo on you. You're not going to have it
Yes.
anywhere. So you establish it within yourself. You guys, I had that whole t-shirt, me first.
Yes.
And it was funny because some people thought it was narcissistic, but those who get it. It really is about me first. When
Yes.
I reach my capacity for the day, I let my family know. I just straight throw. I'm like, look, I'm not doing nothing else. And I don't have to say nothing. I just say I've reached my capacity for the day. They all know what that means. That means mom's about to go take her shower. Mom's about to go sit down and twirl her toes and wiggle her toes and do nothing for the rest of the day. Right?
Uh-huh.
And don't bother. Don't ask her for nothing. Don't ask me for nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really good advice. And I really hope that while you are intentional in your profession, whoever made that comment, that you are really, really intentional about being in your, like, if you work outside the home, that you are taking breaks and that you're taking your lunch. All of that is an intentional part of your day. Or you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out if
Yes.
you don't take time for yourself. You build up resentment because everyone's getting a piece of you, and you're not getting any of you, and that's not good. So you definitely want to make sure that you are practicing self-care on the regular.
Yes.
Yvette, would you say like a morning and a nighttime routine, like you said, with the stretching,
Yes.
really
Because it's on a Sunday, what I try to do is before noon, look at the week schedule, because I have my schedule, my husband has his, my mom, my boys. So therefore, take a peek at your schedule. If your week starts on a Monday, then if your week starts on a Sunday for some reason, take a peek the day before and just make sure you have a mental plan for the day, knowing that things come up, plans change, but when you are prepared, it's easy to deviate. I always say, but if you're not prepared, then you become stressed. Everybody else around you becomes stressed. So that's another main thing that I do that has been working for me, just checking the schedule.
Girl, the schedule, like the calendar. They
Intentional.
be in here.
Yeah,
They
the
be listening to the
calendar.
lives. They hear me say all the time, check your. I don't do nothing without checking my calendar. If it
Yes.
if it's not on my calendar, it does not
Right.
happen. Just
And
like
then I
when
set that remind for like 45 minutes. So I better get that remind, because if I need to be there at 5 and I don't get that remind 45 minutes, I just might be rolling on home. No happy hour for me.
Right. I live by my calendar. Listen, I don't bust a move without consulting my calendar. I have the most staff meetings with my calendar.
Yes.
And Sundays are my rest days. So that's my day. Like, it's no work involved. So I'll do family stuff. And like, I know I'm doing this on a Sunday, but this is something that God put on my heart. But this isn't work to me. This is ministry. So it's different. It's different. And so someone said, period, about the surroundings. Boom.
Yes.
Mic drop
The
on that one.
surroundings. Yeah.
Right. Jackie says that's bold. Love it. Yeah, intentionality is bold. And Jackie has an amazing story about being bold. Intentional people are bold, and that is her jam. And yes, it is your jam, Jackie. That's me. I'm so thankful for these shorts. Hi. That must be, is that Sydney? That must be Sydney.
Yes, that must be her.
Oh, that's Letitia. Facebook user Letitia. Hey, girl.
Okay.
Hey. Narissa said,
Nice.
love the last comment. Soon her. I missed that whole one, Narissa, because I'm getting late to y'all. Hey, Ivana. So, ladies,
Oh, Ivana Knock. Yes.
you remember Ivana from the
Yes, the baker. Yes. Honey, anything with food, I'm going to remember. Good to see you.
Listen, so guys, intentional living really does have a positive impact on every, almost, I'm going to say almost every area of your life. Living with intention. If you really look at the Bible, God really was intentional about every single thing. He was intentional with creation. He was intentional with choosing his disciples. He was just intentional about healing. He was intentional about his walk and his call. He knew when the hour, he said the hour didn't come yet. So he was intentional with not doing a thing or performing a miracle before the time had come, right? So you guys, it's written from foundation. And so we should be living an intentional life. If you're a believer, if you aren't, still you should live an intentional life. So more self-care. Okay. You're welcome, Sunita. Someone said the comment about more self-care, not drowning in profession. Yeah, don't do that because that burnout is real, guys. I preach this all the time. I just lived this. I just went through that. All that burnout is not good. I'm gonna tell you what, no employer, no check is worth your mental, physical, spiritual health.
Amen
I
to
was
that.
about done, y'all. I was so about done, so about done. And no one really noticed what I was really going through. I thought I was on the verge of a mental breakdown from burnout at work. And that's why I come in and I hear it and I talk to you guys on Fridays and any days in between. And just to get you, if you're intentional moving, if you're intentional with saying no, right? If you're intentional making every moment count, if you're intentional with not wasting your time with people who got time to waste, if you're intentional with putting your needs and your goals first, making you a priority, you don't have time for much of anybody else because you're
You
busy.
don't.
Right?
You don't. I love my home space after work because I'm intentional about creating a space. You know, some people don't love to go home because everything is not in its place. It's just all over the place. So when you are intentional about making your space inviting, I don't care if you're in 1,200 square feet, you make sure that that space is inviting. And one of my love languages is scents. And my husband will burn an incense when he's home. And I love it because I don't do it. I'm a candle girl, but it's something about that old school incense, honey, from the streets of New York. You pull it out the little bag. So that was the vibe today. So, right. So, you know, you have to be intentional about making your space inviting.
Right.
You know, yeah.
You do, or you don't want to be there. You will not want to be there. You will not want to do it.
No.
And I totally agree with that. Like, I love home. I'm a homebody. Like, I'm an introvert and I love being home, and it takes everything in me to get myself dressed to go out and do anything. So just know, like, if I'm invited anywhere and I show up, that means you mean something to me. You really are important and special to me because I am intentional. Also, Jackie said Jesus was intentional when he created each of us. Yes, he was.
Yes.
Because it says even the hairs on our head are numbered.
He knows.
That's how intentional he is about us. That he knows how many hairs are on our head. So listen.
No matter how short we cut it, he knows.
Okay, it's God still knows. Follicle. He knows that. He knows that. He knows that. So yes, that is very accurate, Jackie. So I just forgot what I was saying, y'all, but it was getting good. Being home. So like when I go out, it's intentional. So I love being home, and I know you guys might not believe that I'm an introvert, but I am, and I love being home. I make my home comfortable. I make my space comfortable, and I'll peek out a little bit, then I'm right back home, right? So I just love it. And Yvette is right. Make your space inviting, and it's really sad when people don't want to go home.
It is.
It is sad.
And even in your workspaces, you know, many people now have, you have your office space, whether it's a shared space or a private space. Everybody knows me as the plant lady. I have plants in my shared office. I have that good energy around me all day long, and I find myself talking to my plants. And the kids have to stop and be like, "Well, did you say something to me, Miss Q?" No, sir. I'm talking over here to Betty. So, it's just me and Betty. So leave me alone for a minute.
Betty.
But yes, intentional. And then I have an affirmation wall on my job that I created for the
Nice.
kids. But I tell you, the days have been rough. I stand and look in that little mirror and I say the affirmations to myself. So even I'm setting up affirmations that may pop up on your phone, being intentional about encouraging yourself.
Nice.
Sometimes we have to encourage ourselves.
We
Yeah, throughout
do.
our
That
day.
is so good. But you know what you're doing, Yvette? You're imparting intentionality in them at such a young age
Yes.
that when they,
Mm-hmm.
it says train them up. Doesn't necessarily,
Yes.
train them up. It takes a
Yep.
village for real, guys.
It does. It
Um,
does.
so what Narissa has said, so true about the space, the workspace. I feel more relaxed, or the
Mm-hmm.
space, home space, workspace. When your space is clean, sheets are comfortable, bathroom clean. I even rest better. Yes.
Yes.
It's just,
Mm-hmm.
listen. I don't know how to. I can't do the mess. I can't do the grit, grime, and the mess. I just can't do it. It makes me
No.
itch, y'all. And I really can't
Mm-hmm.
function. Like before tonight, I had to come in here and clean up a little bit, like get because I
Yes.
be in here working and stuff just kind of be everywhere. It's not a mess, but your little
Mm-hmm.
organized piles and stuff because I've got stuff
Yes.
going on. But I had to clean it up because I was like, if this is around me like this, I can't function. That's like trying to
Yes.
shop when you're hungry or got to use
Whew.
the bathroom, right? I can't function. I can't concentrate.
Mm-mm. No.
So it's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what Miss Evelyn
Yeah.
said, I love being home also. Yes, girl. Home. Listen,
Yes.
me and my husband have this running thing when we teach the kids as they be laughing at us, but they get it now. They were like, we said we did not buy a house to run the streets. And every time you leave the house, you
Oh,
got to
that's a
swipe the
good
card.
one.
Every time you leave
Yep.
the house, you got to swipe the card. So I'm just gonna stay home.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We're gonna swipe it right here. We're gonna order online.
On Amazon. Amazon, somebody go get me. Shein, somebody go get me. But
Yes.
I'm not gonna be driving. I'll tell you that much. Someone says
Yes.
I have music and oil diffusers. Everyone says they can feel the calm
Oh
in their space.
yes.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys love all these scents and stuff. I have scent
Mm-hmm.
sensitivity. I can't. I love to burn like candles or have like a candle warm. I can't. I'll get like really, really sick. But it is a vibe. I used to use candles and stuff, but I can't. When it started making me really sick, I just had to stop
Yeah.
using it. And so that's again that intention. I could keep using it, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
intentional about what I breathe and how
Yes.
what goes into my body, what goes onto my skin, and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. I'm intentional about drinking my water every day, guys. I'm
Yeah.
intentional about all of these things. I really live everything that you hear me
Mm-hmm.
talk about, and Yvette can attest to that. Just like
Yes.
I can attest to you.
And another thing I wanted to say is be intentional as you interact with others throughout your day.
Mm.
You know, you have to be intentional when you are engaged with your supervisor or you're engaged with your coworkers. Um, there is it's a quote that I used to have on my email. It says a smile confuses an approaching frown. So if someone is coming to you with attitude, you can sense that. You can sense that. And you can intentionally greet them with a smile and serve them. And I use the word serving whenever I'm speaking because that is my ministry. I've been an administrative assistant for 30 years of my life. Had I known what I know now working with the state, I would have been retired, y'all, at 50. But I still had some time to go. But serving is a ministry.
Yeah.
Serving is done with intentional because you don't like everybody that you serve.
And
And
don't
everybody don't like you
and don't
as you serve them, but you have to respect the individual. And that's some deep intentional work when you have to do that on a daily. And mine is with adults and children, honey. You have to be intentional when that same child comes to the office cursing and you know that he's younger than your son, who's almost a man, to serve that child and embrace that child with intention.
Intentional love there. That's intentional love.
Yes. Intentional love.
Being a servant is about love.
Yes.
And that I really am intentional too with that, Yvette. Like when I'm out in public or I'll greet people, I'm just intentional how I make people feel like I'm just a giver, just like you.
Yes.
And it just makes me happy. So I am intentional about bringing happy to people. I don't bring drama and strife and all that weirdness to people's lives. I leave everyone that I come in contact with better than when I leave. And they'll have a lasting smile, like you said, versus me approaching them wrong, because two wrongs don't make it right.
Does not make it right.
Two negatives, what's gonna happen? We're gonna have an explosion up in here. I can be a mess now.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm moody Pisces for sure. Just like this weather. I'm okay.
I'm safe, but ain't nobody safe.
No.
Okay, and listen. So Be True says, woo!
Yes.
Everyone you come in contact with, because listen, baby, they will test your gangster, your salvation. People will test the test. People will test the test. Okay.
Yes.
You can't give them. You can't let them see you sweat. You can't. I served people all those years. If y'all, some of y'all know where I work, with a smile and on my face when I didn't have it to give. People would come in my office for prayer, or they'd come and they want to just sit because my environment was peaceful.
Oh yes.
There was hell all around me. My environment was peaceful because I command peace.
Yes. And when your life reflects intention, when people come to you for prayer. And I've had that happen to me several times, my coworkers. And I'm like, and I'm looking at them, they're looking at me, but when they walk away, I just say it's the God in me, because every day my daily prayer is that I decrease and His Spirit increases in me, and use me just to be a blessing. I don't have money to give. I have a couple of things to give away, but what I can give is intention, attention, and time.
Time, prayer, and love.
Yes.
Listen,
yes.
Just love. I'm a love bearer. I'm gonna bring the
hugs. She can pick me up, okay? Literally, pick me up from a hug. Everybody
talks about these hugs, y'all. This is the second person that talked about these hugs. Brittany said something about the hugs last week, y'all. And it is true. I have a whole hug ministry. Jackie said we both bring that positive energy. That's why we love you too, girl.
I love you too.
Someone wants to know how to get StreamYard permissions. You guys, if you want StreamYard, I did put the link on the post that I put out last with the flyer. You go in and you just click that link and you just click a button and give StreamYard permissions, and then you'll be able to your picture and your name will be shown. Miss Evelyn said, "Don't let the gangster come down." That's right. Listen, let Tasha. I'm telling y'all, Tasha. I'm the Tasha here, right? But don't let Tasha from Jersey escape. I just let her stay asleep.
Right.
Yeah, that could be a whole mess. Okay. So someone said, "Amen." Yes, command your peace. I have to, because people will drive you crazy, and if you're intentional, that's part of that discipline.
Yeah.
When you can handle people with love that are mishandling you, because you have to be intentional about loving people. Can you love the unlovable? You have to be intentional about loving the unlovable.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. Yes, and amen. Yes. Because I know I done been there, done that. Jackie says best hugger ever.
Yes, Jackie, she is.
She said, my hug's got the strength. Y'all, everybody gonna be lining up for a hug. I'm gonna have to charge for these hugs.
Right,
now.
They're gonna be at your house.
When you do things, people will pull on you a lot. How do you manage that in your intentions? That's great. You want to answer first? You want to answer it?
Woo! I know for me, Yeah. My job my job depends on me a lot. And when you're in a building with 650 some odd students, you're pulled in all different directions. But with me, I just go with the flow. And again, it didn't come naturally, you know. Gosh, yeah, you be intentional. And I love to serve the children first because there are children that I know for sure that do not get the love and attention and support that they need.
Wow.
Um, but it's easier for me to tell an adult, leave it right there, or I'll get back with you, or send me an email as a reminder. But when a kid come in, whether they are upset, they don't have, little money or anything for ice cream, they look to, Miss Q, as they affectionately call me, and I just give.
Yeah.
Ooh, my goodness.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's hard to manage. Now at home, it's really not, because my intention at home is to take care of my home, to take care
Mhm,
of my
mhm.
family. And they don't require much, because when you teach your house how to run itself, and it took me a long time. It took me to get sick in 2022 to realize that in order for me to live my best life a little longer, I have to teach my family.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
it took me a long time.
yeah.
But yeah.
That was good. You have
Mhm.
to, and I love that you serve the children first because you're there for the kid.
Mhm.
Like it would be
Yeah.
no, it
Right.
would not be a
I
job
wouldn't
without
have a
the
job.
kids.
Right.
Those
Now that,
adults can wait. They can hear one
yeah.
more no, and if it's your first no of
Right.
the day, the month, the year, your life, you're gonna get this no today. Yes, you
Yes.
are. Because these babies come first.
Right.
And I respect that. Like I respect that.
Mhm.
Um so I do it like my home is like Yvette. My home runs itself.
Mhm.
My children are older. They don't require much, and they know how to handle their handling. My husband does not require much, but when
Yeah.
there's a need in the house, I take care of that first, and then all is well, right?
Mhm.
So my house comes before anyone's house.
Mhm.
So my house comes before work. It comes before friendships. It comes before anything because home is my first ministry.
Mhm.
And so I can't
Yes.
minister. I have no business ministering to anyone outside of my home if my house is
Right.
not taken care of first,
Yes.
right? Because I'm out of order in that place because home is your first ministry. So if you're not taking
Yes,
care of
it
your
is.
home first, you're already out of order, and that's why your life's probably in chaos right now. So go on and get
Mhm.
some order in your home, get that
Yes.
peace and that love in your home, and then it would flow over into everywhere else you go.
Everything else.
How I
Yes.
handle people that don't respect my boundaries, I cut them off.
Yeah, she's a
Right, I
cut.
do. I keep the scissors on hand. But if it's a work environment, and I
Mhm.
have to be when I was in at the employer, and people want to pull on me, I had to just really just set myself aside, and I had to get the model like Jesus. I had to really look at Jesus like, okay, this is an assignment, and I said it all the time. It
Mhm.
really was an assignment, and I knew that He sent me there to do a work. So I had to put self aside, and I had to serve. I had to serve the need because what would happen if I didn't? And I'm accountable for what I didn't release or impart
Yeah.
into that person's life when I had what they needed in that moment. So I had to
Mm.
get out of myself and serve.
Yeah.
And then I would go back to, all right, Lord. Then I'll actually, after you serve, then it's like, oh, you feel like you're lifted, you feel full because while
Yeah.
we're pouring, he's filling. While we're pouring, he's filling.
Mm.
And it's just like, we're pouring, he's filling. And I have learned, guys, to never give from my cup again. I only give from my overflow.
The overflow. Oh my goodness. I read
Yeah.
something about that today. Do
Did
not
you?
give from your cup, give from the overflow.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's how I handle people that always want to pull on me. If I don't have the
Mhm.
capacity, if it's a phone call or if it's a text, I don't answer, I don't respond, right? If it's in person and the person is writing me and I look them in their face and I can look at I have this the spirit of discernment so sharply. I can just look at them, and 9 times out of 10, I'll just hug them, and it'll be all right. And they just break crying, and then all is well again, right? Because they've gotten what they needed. But pouring and serving is very draining. You guys ever heard the story in the Bible where, the woman with the issue of blood, and Jesus was in the crowd, and the woman walked through the crowd to get to him. All she did was touch the hem of his garment. Like, she just touched the hem of his garment, y'all, and the virtue left his body. He felt that. Yeah. Pouring is draining, and we have virtue. And every time we pour and every time we give of ourselves with love, the virtue leaves. So we always have to make sure that we're in a place to refill. We have to make sure that we are resting with intention. We have to make sure that we are taking time for ourselves and self-care with intention. We have to make sure that we are moving with intention, eating healthier with intention, drinking water with intention. All of it's with intention, or you are going to be wrecked. Wrecked. Because when you pour, your virtue leaves you. Your virtue leaves you. And you have to replenish. It's like talking on yourself when your charge is down, right? You have to plug that thing in so you can charge up. Yes. You got to charge back up. Narissa wants a FedEx.
I saw that.
Oh, man. Oh, no. I never did that. Let me see if I can market that. Someone says it doesn't always feel draining in the moment of pouring, but when I am in my own space and energy again. Oh, yes. This is like
that
I just
is
said.
True.
I say this all the time. I'm a hardcore introvert. I love being with people, but when I'm in the people drain me and fill me at the same time. And I can't stay in a place with a lot of people for too long for that very reason.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens there, but when I get in my car, it's like, whew, I'm tired, I'm drained.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Be intentional after you serve, when you're in a job of service and people depend on you. When you come home, be intentional about setting time aside before you pick up any pot or pan, before you start washing any dish or putting any piece of clothing in the wash. Just sit. And I find myself doing that. I have a little drive, but most of that time is connecting with my husband, or, sometimes I call Tasha after work. Listen, girl, let me tell you what happened, just to get a good laugh. But when I walk in my house after a day of giving and being drained, I just sit for about 30 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, because I'm intentional about the pause. There's power in the pause, and you have to be intentional.
Yeah, you do. Yvette, you have the drive, but listen, y'all, I sit in my driveway for about a good hour sometimes if I need just that time.
Yes.
And I am no stranger to just pulling up in a parking lot somewhere and locking myself in the car, right? And just sitting still and just being. It's you have to find what makes you happy. You have to find that, like, your happiness is your responsibility. So once you find your harmony in things, I don't really say balance, I say your harmony, because I think everything has to work together in harmony. Because balance things can get knocked off, right? It can go off or off. But when you got harmony, all things just flow together, right? So you have to get into a routine. Get into a routine. And when you feel yourself and when you reach your capacity, pull back. Stop. Because at this point in time, you don't have anything else to give in that moment. And now you're going to burn yourself out trying to serve. And that is so. Go ahead, Yvette.
No, it gets messy. When you become burned out, it gets messy because your attitude shifts. Yes, honey, I'm a positive Polly, but honey, when I know that I'm done. Sometimes it can get heavy, and that attitude comes in, and that's just being intentional. Also about being real in conversations.
Listen, you
have to be,
because it's like that resentment. It's like, if one more person asks me one more thing, right? You like get
you
ready to snap, go crazy, right? Because it's like, just leave me alone. Like, but you know why you feel like that? Because you've not taken time for self. So you become resentful and bitter.
Yes.
Okay, guys, even if you go to the Bible and you read the stories of Jesus, even in the midst of him serving, Jesus would step away from the crowd. Jesus rested often, but even in the midst of serving, Jesus had to steal away and go get rest. He had to go rest up,
He
recharge,
went up on
refuel.
the mountaintop. Leave me
And in the
alone.
middle of serving, he says, "Wait, I know you guys have a need, right? But I
Mhm.
got to go take care of me right now because I got to go
Yes.
talk to the Father and I got to fuel up."
Right.
And then he
So,
go
and
back
he
up.
had to do it. Right. Who
So
are we?
right, he left the blueprint how we are to live. And if you are a
Yeah.
believer and you are not following it, then you're doing yourself a
Mhm.
disservice.
Yeah.
And you're going to be tired, and you're going to be
Mhm.
not that tired. Tired is a part of life, but some of
Yeah.
us put unnecessary stress on
Mm.
ourselves, and
Yes.
it don't have to be that way. It really, really
Mm-mm.
don't. I don't do things
No.
I don't want to do. I only do things that
Mhm.
bring me add value to my life and that make me happy. If you ask me to do something and you're going to get a no, and if I don't want to do it,
Mhm.
it's a no, a hard no, and a quick no.
Yeah. Quick no.
Because I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to pray about it. I ain't got to spin around and click my
Mhm.
heels 100 times. It's a no.
Yeah.
It's a quick no. Because I've already
Mhm.
made, especially if I make my mind up that I'm not doing nothing that day, that week, that month, whatever. Don't ask
Right.
me. And if you ask, just be
Mhm.
prepared to get a no from me.
Yes.
Brittany said, "Ooh, that's real good. Take care home first. You better, especially if you're
Mhm.
married, because one thing a husband ain't trying to
Ooh.
hear is your bosses first. They ain't trying to
Yes.
hear that. Out of order wives.
Yes.
And ain't your husband ain't trying to come second to no man. And
Mm-mm.
listen, get it
No.
together. Okay, I don't care about, and
Yes.
listen, and wives too with husbands. We ain't trying to hear that
Yes.
your female boss.
No.
You can't
Mm-mm.
answer my call. You better be answering this call.
Yes.
I'm first.
Yes. Be
Okay.
intentional about your
Right.
relationships, your established relationships. Honey, if you got a new girlfriend just trying to get on the bandwagon and just
Oh,
want to go out all the time, you don't have time for her.
yeah.
You know, you have to be intentional about your relationships. You know, sometimes we can have too many people in our circle. I
Right.
like a small, close-knit circle that I know I don't have to see every day or talk to every day. But when I need a girlfriend, I know that that person is there
Exactly.
because we built our friendship in, with intention,
Right.
just being there when the need comes.
Right. I got a dot.
Mhm.
It's like the tip of a pen. It ain't even a circle. It's a dot, a little dot.
Not even a hula
Girl, no,
hoop.
I don't need that. I don't listen. I don't have time for the hormones and the emotions. I don't have time for, and I don't have time. I
Yeah.
really don't have time for clingy either. Like it's just too much for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't do all that because I know, like Yvette says, I have the power of presence, right?
Hmm.
You said that a lot of times, and it's
Yes.
true, and it's so exhausting.
Mhm.
That's why I'm not on the market. I'm not on the market for no new. I'm good with what I got. But
Yes.
God has really been blessing my life with some amazing women, and they
Yes.
really do respect if we don't talk every day or whatever. We can talk
Hmm.
every few months or weeks or whatever, and it's fine. And there's no ill feelings about it. I like
Mm-mm.
that. I like easy relationships because if it's causing me stress, it's not gonna last. I promise you
Yeah.
that. And that's all part of my healing. Like I used to be like feel some kind of way, like, oh, I'm letting them down. But no, I was letting myself down, trying to
Hmm.
keep everybody else lifted up. And I don't do that no more.
Yeah.
Someone says, yeah, great point. There is a big difference in pouring out of self rather from God and your overflow. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Always make sure that you're going in the strength of the Lord, because if you go in your own strength and your own might, you
Ooh.
are going to burn out, girl. Yes,
Yes.
you are. Does this lady know me or what? You bet somebody, you running somebody tape, honey.
Oh gosh, it's about being a blessing everywhere you go.
Okay, yeah, does this lady know me
Mhm.
or what? The garage sit is needed, girl. Yes, it is, Jackie. It's
Yes.
necessary.
Hmm.
They be coming out like they know I went to the store. My sons or husband know I went to the store or something. They'll come out, just grabbing stuff out the trunk and going back in the house. They close the garage door too because they know it's gonna be a while. But just come on and get this food out this trunk.
Right.
And it's not like you're
Yes.
trying to avoid being in
No.
the home, because I love being home and I love my
Hmm.
family. My family are amazing. They're peaceful. They bring me joy and happiness, right?
Yes.
But it's just something about sitting in there and just
Ooh.
nothing. Like
Hmm.
I can't try it, y'all. Try it.
Yes.
Try it.
Now don't leave your car running in the garage. Don't put your garage door down. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
no. I stay outside the garage. I stay outside in
Girl.
the thing because we don't need nobody passing out. We don't want y'all go to sleep. Stay up. Don't let that garage.
Stay up, people.
Stay up. Brittany said it. Tell it. It gets messy real quick when you're burned out. Show duty.
Yes.
Listen, guys. I'm gonna tell this real quick. When I had a burnout moment at work, when I reached my breaking point, I had a decision I had made as a supervisor, and then my supervisor overrode my decision as a supervisor. I felt like you in that moment so disrespected, and I really had a moment where I broke and I just went off. I went off, and to the point where the tears started to flow. Now, anybody know? I was not, I was not crying because my feelings was hurt. I was crying because I was ready to throat punch somebody. I was ready to knuckle up because I was ready. But wisdom said, "Don't do that, girl. You go to jail." So I had to collect myself and collect my snot and get that knot in my throat collected. And I gathered my things and I left for the day. Now I had a couple days off after that, so the timing was just perfect. And I left for the day. And they were calling me and calling me and calling me, and I was not answering. They didn't know if I was coming back because I took my belongings and I left the cell phone there. And I said, "You guys can have it. If you're going to do this to me," it was like a slap in the face.
Yes.
And I felt like you don't empower people when you override them like that. If you put me in a position of authority, let me run my ship here, right?
Yes.
And so they were calling, and I was not answering. And I showed back up on the day I was supposed to report back to work. And they came in, they was like, "Everything okay?" I looked at them like, "I'm here," and went on about his business. Leave me alone. And things got better from that moment because it was just like, and then after that, I ended up leaving not shortly after because I blew up, and I didn't practice self-care, guys. I didn't practice all the things that I do now. It was not in place, and I was burned out. And so I would never get to that level again because I really wanted to hurt somebody that day. Miss Evelyn says she sits in the car under the carport for a while. Listen, we got a whole ministry.
Can we just gonna have to meet up? We're gonna have to meet up in a parking lot and just sit, be quiet, and go eat afterwards.
Right. I'll sit in the car and I'll be just eating. I'll be just cracking, like on my little sunflower seeds or my walnuts or something, just eating cheese sticks or whatever. I'm good in there. Like, I love my car. Heat be on my feet, shoes be on. I'll be right comfortable. Marissa says she leaves the driveway after work, and Mr. P will come and check on her. Sometimes she just don't feel like moving. Right. Gotta get them joints lubed up, get them going. Letitia said she didn't understand that car ministry when her mom used to do it, but now you get it. You have to train your household to come get the groceries. Yeah, girl, it bless your life. That's right, girl. Somebody's about to get a 2-piece and a biscuit. Okay, they sure were. Sure were. But ladies, so I just want to give you 5 management skills for being an intentional person and living an intentional life. This was a great chat. Like, don't you?
It was.
I hope you guys are enjoying this. Prioritization, planning, delegation, time blocking, and self-discipline. Put those into practice immediately, and you will see your life begin to change. I'm going to read that for you one more again. Prioritization, planning, delegation, time blocking, and self-discipline is necessary to live. And there's probably a longer list than that. Just a few that I can you get that in writing? Somebody type this in here. Prioritization. And then y'all go on and copy it real quick. Yes, I will drop it. I will drop these. Actually, I'll drop these in the group. Thank you, Facebook user. Thank you. Somebody put it up there. Somebody put it there. You guys grab it. But this chat will still be the live will still be in the group, so you guys can go back and get it anytime. So thank you, got some you for putting that up. Yep.
And if I can add, don't be afraid to delegate. You know, as women, we think that we are Wonder Woman. But just trust the process. No one is going to do it like you, sis. No one is going to do it like you. But as long as somebody's doing it and it's not you on this particular day, it's okay.
Hmm.
So, yeah, just break it up,
It'll
shift some things around.
it'll get done.
Yes.
It'll get done. You know what? Today, tomorrow, or another day.
Hmm.
And because we're not, and we, you remember that workshop I did with the unapologetically no, and it was like no, it was the
Revive you.
revive you
Revive.
22, and it was
Yes.
like take the cape off.
Yeah.
We
Take
do
the
the
cape
most.
off. Yes.
We do too much. I'm gonna have to
Hmm.
bring that one back because that was a really good workshop.
Yes. Being
Um,
intentional of not doing anything because sometimes we don't need to do anything.
right.
Be still and know. Be
I
still.
don't gotta do
Sit your,
nothing.
as my grandma would say, sit your hips down for a while. It's okay.
That is
Yeah.
such a grandma thing to say.
Yes. Intentional.
Right. Oh my God. Sit your hips down. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Jackie says she loves us both as chat with a
Oh,
blessing
love
to
you
live with
too,
intention.
Jackie.
We love you too, Jackie. Yeah,
Yes.
so ladies, the reason I wanted to do these on Sunday nights is because when I was going through everything with the employer and all my stress and my burnout and everything, um, I dreaded the weekends. Like I love Friday nights and I love Saturday. And Sunday would come around and I just no longer enjoy my weekend. My husband would ask me to go out and do things, or the kids wanted to do something. I just did not want to. I didn't have it. I didn't have it because my mind had already shifted to the week. And I knew all the hell that I had to go into. My job, I felt like I was being hazed every single day. It was wild, guys. So I'm so grateful that God has taken me out of such a stressful place, and just
Mhm.
allow me to do the things that are really on my heart to do, which is this is one of them, right?
Yeah.
So I wish that there was something like this on a Sunday evening just to uplift and encourage and empower me. Real raw girl talk, right? Just to
Yes.
help me get through and
Mhm.
prepare for what was coming. So
Yes.
there are, I said I would do it for this whole month. I have two more that I'm doing next Sunday, and then I'm going, the following week will be on a Friday because I will be away that following Sunday. So yeah, so I don't know if you guys drop in the comments if this is something that you would like to see continued. Can't promise I'll have a guest on every time, but I'll see who I can snag from time to time, but it'll be me. I still do the
Mhm.
Be Free Fridays at 4 o'clock on Fridays here in the group. So you guys let me know. Would you prefer that Friday or would you prefer a Sunday evening? So I know like this would have been really, really, really amazing if I had it. You know, when I was working outside of the home, so to speak. But yeah, Yvette, do you have anything in closing you'd like to share with the people?
The only thing I would like, it is Sunday evening, and we're preparing for the week. So tonight, allow yourself to take a long hot shower or bath. Get comfortable as can be. Say your prayers to whomever your higher power is, and just go to sleep and wake up in the morning if that's your first miracle for the day, and begin with intention.
I love
Being
that.
intentive with yourself before serving your family. And once your family is served, you go to your respective jobs and serve well with intention.
Mhm. Now, y'all feel the calm that just came over this line? That's the power of Yvette's voice. Y'all, her voice is so amazing. And it's trying to act up today, but you guys still get the gist of it. Did you feel the peace that just went through this? If you didn't feel it, then I need you to go on back and watch this later. There was a piece that just went through the line, and it was amazing. Letitia said it's refreshing woman to woman dialogue. She likes Sundays. Awesome. And Narissa said this was very needed. She feels the same way on Sundays. She can't make the Fridays due to time. Okay, I'm going to do a poll in the group, but I don't even want to add anything else to this because Yvette just said it, and I'm going to let it be because the stillness that's here. You guys go and do what you have to do tonight to prepare for your week. Plan your week with intention. That way you'll know what you're getting into. Establish your routine and all that other good stuff. So with that being said, Yvette, thank you so much for rocking out with me tonight.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you,
for having
ladies,
me.
for rocking out with us tonight. Enjoy the little
The
things.
little
That
things.
part. That part.
Yeah.
That part. That part. And so, with that, in closing, thank you, ladies. Have an amazing rest of your evening. Have a
Yes,
great week.
ladies.
I love you all, and I will see you
Mhm.
on Friday, God willing. Later.
Yes. Bye.
See ya.